Hey everyone, it's Diego Reyes for CNN Philippines 10, where we break down major stories from here and abroad into bite-sized facts in 10 minutes. The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, is looking to increase the number of applicants to the National ID Registration Program. In doing so, it recently targeted delivery riders. Authorities say aside from having an additional valid ID, having a national ID will speed up the verification process for government social welfare services.
The idea of a national ID will become very useful is when in future programs, diba? All you need to do is to cite your number or show your card.
The PSA says over 78 million Filipinos have already registered in the National Identification System as of April 25, majority of which were already issued with electronic versions of the ID. Of the 60 million physical IDs, 35 million were already printed in plastic cards by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, while the rest were printed on paper by the PSA in their registration sites. These are still considered legitimate identification, the PSA says.
Baka maliitin nila kasi on paper na siya, but digital information, it is not about the card. It is about the credential, secured, PhilSys number, and then the biometrics captured.
This summer, people have different ways of staying cool amid the unbearable heat. These include fanning oneself or staying in front of electric fans all day. Others turn to cold drinks or dessert, like this traffic enforcer who stays under the sun for hours. To protect enforcers, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority brought back the heat stroke break in March, where they are given 30 minutes to cool down away from their stations.
Bakit maaari pinapanatili namin yung katawan namin na panay sa tubig para hindi kami ma-dehydrate.
This vegetable vendor opens her stall at 5 in the afternoon. At the age of 62, she's wary about getting heat stroke.
Inom ng tubig dahil sa sobrang init, lumalabas na lang ako para makasagap ka ng sariwang hangin.
Pag-asa recently recorded a heat index of 45 degrees Celsius in Legazpi City, Albay. It warned that the heat index may rise in the coming weeks. The health department has already cautioned extensively against heat-related illnesses even prior to Pag-asa raising El Nino alert in the country. And heat stroke is first on the list. Some choose to beat the heat by dipping in pools or trooping to beaches. But experts warn against possible skin diseases due to increased sun exposure. They also remind the public to be mindful of what they eat and drink to avoid serious illnesses like cholera and typhoid fever. Hot food and drinks, including alcoholic beverages, may also cause dehydration. The most important tip, drink at least 8 glasses of clean water a day. People are also advised to avoid going out between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. But if one must, it is best to wear loose and light-colored clothes. Speaking of tips to beat the heat, a group of boys from Pandi, Bulacan transformed an old fish pond into a DIY pool. Uploader June Agustin and his friends are already in swimming mode. According to him, it took them 5 hours to clean the fish pond. They sourced water from a clean pump and filled the fish pond in 6 hours. Meanwhile, Manalo twins Patricia and Katrina helped a table seller in Pampanga. They first knew Lolo Patring in March when they saw him selling a table under the scorching heat. They bought it, and when they saw him again, he was selling 2 tables and they bought those as well. After posting his video on social media, donations for Lolo Patring reached 10,000 pesos, with the twins adding grocery items.
Ang gulo na po ng mundo ngayon, kailangan po sa atin magsimula yung pagmamahalan, pagtutulungan. Maging mabuti lang po tayo araw-araw. Sa kapwa natin.
And news from San Miguel Corporation. The conglomerate is in talks with the local government of Oriental Mindoro to construct a bridge linking Mindoro Island and mainland Luzon, specifically Batangas. SMC President and CEO Ramon Ang says global experts will conduct a technical feasibility study on how the 15-kilometer bridge can be built sustainably. The said bridge will spur local economic growth through job generation and transport of goods and people, among others. During the Holy Week break, many Pinoys flocked to Siargao Island, the surfing capital of the Philippines. With most of the residents relying mainly on tourism for livelihood, they hope to see more signs of tourism recovery this year. These include the Mecate family, who owns Biyaheng Kuya Ting Siargao, which provides tour guide services. During a visit to Siargao's popular sites, there are no more traces of devastation brought by Typhoon Odette in 2021, although there are roads that are still under repair in far-flung areas. Local officials, however, say the tourism recovery is only at 90% since some of the flights have not yet been restored.
Well, wala pa siya ka-equate sa pre-pandemic level. No? Wala pa siya ka-equate. Maguro, sundin ako, asog karon mga napatas mga 90%.
90%.
Okay. Napa may wala mabalik na route, like ang Clark Siargao, wala pa man mabalik. So we had Davao, Cebu, Manila pa man.
Data from the Tourism Department in Caraga region show that top foreign guests in Siargao come from Europe and the United States. Last year, they listed more than 176,500 local and foreign visitors on the island, getting close to the 181,000 the island was receiving annually pre-pandemic. Age is truly just a number, as what a senior from Sogod Leyte proved when she passed the recent bar exam. 65-year-old Nancy Regis shares she started a family at a young age. So since she was 23, her focus was her family and career as a civil registrar in their town. When her kids had grown and she reached senior age, she decided to continue her law studies. Regis shares she studied 12 hours a day while also working. Now that she has passed the bar, she plans to start her own law practice.
Regardless of your age, never give up on your dreams. The journey might not be smooth sailing, but in the end, it is worth it.
Fans of the HBO drama Euphoria were delighted with the surprise performances of its stars Zendaya and Labyrinth at the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival in Indio, California. They performed the Emmy-winning hit All For Us and I'm Tired. Disney fans Halle Bailey's version of the song Part of Your World has been released. A part of it was already heard in the trailer of the live-action The Little Mermaid film, but the full version in a video was also made public. The theater release of the film is slated this May 24th. Get ready for some action as the newest trailer of the much-anticipated Transformers: Rise of the Beasts has been released. The epic action film will take fans on a 90s globe-trotting adventure with the Autobots and introduce a whole new faction of Transformers. The film stars Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback, while Peter Cullen returns as the voice of Optimus Prime. Oscar Best Actress Michelle Yeoh also joins the cast as the voice of Air Razor. The film will be heading to cinemas on June 7. The iconic FIBA World Cup trophy recently dropped by CNN Philippines as part of its tour, along with Gilas Pilipinas icons and local ambassadors Gabe Norwood and Ranidel De Ocampo. The Naismith Trophy, which is made of 14-karat gold, is FIBA's highest prize, a cup that the Philippines has yet to win but has another chance to clinch this year.
Kung makuha man natin yung trophy o hindi, at least bigyan natin yung best natin para sa bansa natin. Sobrang laking bagay nito sa Pilipinas, lalo na sa ating mga kababayan.
It's a chance, you know, at the end of the day, it's a basketball tournament, but, you know, just to be here next to the trophy, I had 2 chances myself and came up short, but I'm excited for the next batch to get their chance.
Before the global showcase itself, basketball's ultimate prize is set to tour around the 32 countries that qualified for FIBA World Cup, a chance for teams to lay their eyes on the prize before they battle it out in the basketball's biggest stage. The Philippines will take center stage as co-host of the World Cup along with Japan and Indonesia. And now for 10-second trivia. What was the first Asian country to host the FIBA World Cup? China, Iran, Japan, or the Philippines? The first Asian country to host the FIBA World Cup is the Philippines. It was held at the Rizal Memorial Coliseum and Araneta Coliseum in 1978. Having a home court advantage, the Philippine team then automatically qualified in the semifinals but finished 8th overall. And that's it for CNN Philippines 10. I'm Diego Reyes, giving you news you can use, news you can trust in 10 minutes. Thanks for joining me today, and see you again next time.